This game sucks! At least that's what everyone says. I've never played it, but my buddy Kevin from KWKBOX Entertainment says it's not bad.
It's great.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a hated gem.
It's great.
So Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a game I really don't know much about. I remember watching the movie, and I remember the movie being pretty important when I was 3 or 4. We had a VHS tape of it, but I honestly don't remember much about the movie either. It's called Who Framed Roger Rabbit, assuming that you have to make it so he's not been charged for a crime. So yeah, that's what I mean. I don't even remember the damn thing.
Alright, I know what you're thinking. It's not like I have nostalgia vision when I'm looking at this game, and I had like a big obsession with Roger Rabbit, and I enjoyed the movie so much that no matter what the game was about, I just liked it and still do. Nah.
Oh boy! You're gonna be schooled by another YouTuber that's much more successful, popular, and better looking than you. Well, I guess not really the better looking part. After all, you did make a shadow version of me. Well, a realistic version of me. Anyways, Mario Odyssey's pretty good, isn't it?
What the hell is this? Another collaboration and I wasn't invited? The hell, man, I was on this show way before that stupid apparition. And then who the heck is this guy? Man, this is ridiculous.
So I really went into this game with no expectations. Oh, that's what you say, no expectations, huh? Oh, please, you were already expecting to hate this game. You were already saying, oh, wow, it's gotta be awful. Blah, 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 blah. I kind of sound like a Sims guy now. So I started the game without really knowing much about it other than seeing various videos on it over the years. And it's made by Rare. So, Rare's one of my favorite companies, even back in the NES days, Cobra Triangle, blah blah. So I started it, and immediately, you're playing as a dude, detective, you have a punch, you pick up items, but you can't seem to use those items. There's Roger Rabbit that's with you, you're the dude, whoever, I can't remember his name, Dick Tracy lookalike guy, and you're in a room, and you can search the room. Can't find anything, you walk outside, you're in some overworld map, it's all gray, can't find much, there's cars that'll run you over, there's birds that will steal Roger Rabbit, and then when you go into various rooms, you get into the front of a building, which sometimes stuff attacks you, Roger Rabbit runs away, you have to fight it off, although usually you just die. There's killer mice and killer cats that kill you, usually you just die.
Stupid people. Need more Reaper up in this house.
And it seems like you're just looking for items. So what I pieced on it is that the game is essentially looking for items to progress through the game. Which, okay, that's not a bad mechanic. Let's see how it plays out. However, everything is just so over the top. Well, you know what? Before I get into it, let's see what my buddy Kevin from KWKBOX Entertainment has to say about it, because he is the reason I'm playing this. He suggested it. And he seems to like this game.
Now I know what you're thinking.
This game is terrible.
So why don't you hear me out about a few things?
He is dead-faced wrong.
For a movie-based game, I believe Roger Rabbit is one of the best for the time that actually follows the story very closely.
Terrible schlock. Horrible.
Hey, you gotta admit, the graphics are pretty good.
Oh, wow. I don't even have to be negative this time. I was gonna say about how bad it was, but if you're saying it's bad, I guess I gotta be positive. It's funny how that works. I really am a troll. It's terrible. It's an overworld map. It all looks the same.
Another unique feature of the game is that it's always different every time that you play. Items won't always be in the same spot. So it's very similar to, say, Diablo, when you play the game and there's always a new map. It's never the same game every time you play.
You collect items that you have no way of using, even when you get weapons like the crowbar and the brick. If you manage to figure out how to select them, which you have to hold down select and move left and right. So here's an NES controller. In order to change your items, you have to leave the A and B button and go to the select button and then change it. I wouldn't have been able to figure that out if I didn't look up an online manual for the game, because I don't have a manual, but you need a damn manual to play the stupid game. But how can you complain about such fantastic game design as walk into random building, get random item, randomly progress through the game, randomly get grabbed by some bird, and randomly punch Roger Rabbit in the face? That's a lot of fun, especially when you punch random citizens in the face and they get all, oh! That was some great fun. I enjoyed that.
The game is also a sandbox game, which is way ahead of its time if you think about it. There's plenty of other great sandbox games out there, and you can even think that this was one of the very early based ones.
It's an overworld map with nothing in it. You die from everything. Roger Rabbit is just a nuisance who ends up getting you killed over and over again, either by getting kidnapped and you have to answer stupid one-liners, or he gets taken by a bird, or gets run over, which pauses your character to then get run over as well, and so on and so forth.
You literally can drive around town, go to buildings, and do whatever you wish. That's very similar to a lot of other great games out there.
You know, that's a really interesting point for me to poop on. The whole game is really just finding the right item, which I think everything is randomly generated into different rooms. I'm sure some might always be in certain places, but I died and then started over without using the password system, which password system, yeah, way too complicated.
Yeah, the passcode system was pretty long. But you know what, back then, I was grateful to have a passcode system. Just take a look at Metroid. Imagine if that game didn't have a passcode system at all.
Now you can get things without even realizing it. I picked up the password to get into the Donkey Kong bar without even knowing I did. Now I used a password that time to restart after I had game over, so I don't know if using that password gave me the password and some metacrap. I don't know. This game is terrible.
This game can be seen as very cryptic, but that doesn't mean that there weren't very cryptic games back then that aren't still very good. King's Quest, thank you very much.
The only redeeming factor of this game was the car. You get the whistle and you can call the car, and then once the car is there, you can use it. But even when you're in the car, you're not safe because the goons will chase you then. Now, there's these things up that show P up on your status bar, which I have no idea what those do.
Even though the game's cryptic, they do at least build in a failsafe in my opinion. If you get a rose, you can always visit Jessica Rabbit and she will blatantly tell you where a will piece is. It's very useful.
Oh man, this game does look pretty bad though. I gotta go with Lucious on this one. Reaper out.
No, wrong. You know, I gotta say, I'm gonna agree with the pasty one. The fact that I'm calling him the pasty one is kind of ironic. You can buy stuff at the shop. You get stuff like the flashlight and all these other things which have limited uses, and if you don't know where to use it, you're screwed. I did manage to get into the nightclub. I did manage to give the femme fatale a rose, which then told me to go into the countryside, into a cave, and get the will there. I found a snake. Right before I was about to give up, I found the rattle. Snake needs his rattle. So I gave the snake the rattle, and he went away, but then how do I jump the chasm? Now, earlier on, I'm not sure if I even found these or found the footage for this, but I found spring shoes. So I'm guessing you get the spring shoes. That's what this whole game is, just a puzzle. But it's not a fun puzzle. I used this last time. It's a board game that the rules are too arduous to learn, and once you know how to do it, it's fun as watching paint dry. This whole game was just, oh my god, frustrating, boring, no fun. Oh, come on! Why don't you just, you know what? Here's some important advice for you. You know what you should do, Lucious? Get good. Get good. How can you like this game? There's nothing redeeming about it.
It's great.
You know, I hate to say it, but this man's actually making some sense. It's too bad that you're not gonna listen. I've been saying it for years. I really have. You should give me control of the show. I'm just saying. Just saying. I know that you told me you're comparing it to Retro City Rampage, which I haven't played, but come on! That's actually a good game. I don't even know, I haven't even played it, but I know that's a good game because the internet told me. The internet says this game is terrible, therefore it's bad. Oh, listening to the internet again, Wow, I guess Mike was right. You'll probably start collecting Xbox games soon. Not that anyone ever would review those. Dali Papka. And I don't know what. I mean, what's redeeming about it? I mean, it's just not fun. The car handles well.
It's great.
But everything is just so boring. Everything kills you. The punch mechanic is terrible. And if you thought I was gonna beat this, hell no, hell no. This was awful. I don't know how you beat it. I mean, I know there's an exploit, but really, everything kills you. Everything's a one-hit kill. And even when you throw your items, they arc over them. So there's no way to use this damn stuff. And
it's great.
I don't know if there's, I mean, I've heard the judge boss fight is broken too, but this whole game is just, I've never experienced an NES game that was worse. At least in Friday the 13th, there's redeeming qualities. You see game design. And this one is just, Let's throw stuff against the wall and see if it sticks. We'll give you this NPC ally that's a burden, which, okay, that plays to the strength of the movie. But then we're going to give you a punch that doesn't work, an ability to cock it that makes it impossible to time it to hit someone, weapons that fly over people, single-use items like flashlights and all that once you use them, they're gone, you have to buy them again. The whistle, which once you use it once, the car's there, so why does it have other charges? Did anyone else see that expert cameo that I did on the Mike Tendo show? Although he did steal my bit, and I'm not happy about it. But I did put in a copyright claim against monetization, so I guess who's the victor? Well, this guy. It's almost like an adventure game, but not the pace of an adventure game. An adventure game, not everything kills you instantly, and you're not constantly being chased. And when you get to buildings, people will say, oh, there's nothing here, or oh, you should search this building. But they'll tell you that even if it's something that you're supposed to find is guarded by an enemy that you don't have the thing to get. Like, I'm assuming the mice, you have to drop cheese so that they go away. And I found meat in a trash can, I'm assuming you give that to the cat, but I never ran into those again once I had the meat to test the theory. So yes, I appreciate the game design in that regard. Much like Jaws, I went into Jaws this time knowing how to play it, whereas before I went in cold, and this time I went into this game completely cold, and just hated it. Hated it. So glad to be done with it, and damn, Kevin, I think you should unsubscribe from my channel because your taste is terrible. So anyways, horrible game. Don't pick it up or play it. You got no homework. Take it to the bank.